Hello, welcome back. Today is like a Houdini marathon or something like that. I decided to continue with the live session because yeah, I am trying to catch up all my pending entries for Mardini. So welcome, welcome. Uh, this one, give me 1 second. Uh, This one will be, oh, that's what I want. This one should be a shorter one, so a quicker one. Uh, Now I'm going to create the entry, this one from scratch. I have a few days without creating an entry from scratch with you. But this is the second live for today, so there is a lot of effort here. Uh, but okay, that uh, all of this is just to show you how you can create your scenes, how you can do a lot of things. I want to show you a lot of tricks that you can do to create scenes like this, and you can use all of this information that you can learn in your production environment. So that's the goal behind this. Okay. Uh, Again, let's dive in for very quickly. I have like a very clear idea of what I want to do right now. Right now, I'm going to do the entry from yesterday. The yesterday prompt was creator. This is like actually this was the last entry for the subs week. I talked a little bit more about this on the previous live when I created the look development for the character entry. I forgot the name of the entry, but yeah, the creature is the last one. So let's do it. So give me 1 second to change to Houdini. Okay, here we are. Remember that I told you that I'm going to do a simple idea, and probably this will be like a good exercise. The maximum length of this live should be 1 hour. Let's try to keep it on that objective. And even that the idea will be something very simple, I think that this will be like a very good example of what you can do or very quickly with some assets and with a nice lighting and yeah, a little bit of animation. So basically, as you can see, this mailbox or postbox model from the GSG Studio, because the entry is a creator, I want to somehow like open the mailbox or the post box and see maybe some eyes like there is a creature inside waiting for, I don't know, eat people. Something like that. Okay, let's dive into this. Let's connect my Houdini, send the asset, but actually I forgot that I don't like to use the GSG asset like this. So let's delete the the created one. Let's create our own container directly in Solaris. Let's create a file now and just drag our asset. Let me change the path because I want to use always the variable that I created for the GSG studio. Also, the first step, like on almost every asset that you import in Houdini that was created in another software, you will need to uh, scale everything like, I just messed up the transformation. Just reduce the size of this. Okay, let's create like an output node. This will be our output node. I also forgot to put the music. Apologies for that. Let me jump here in Spotify. Okay. And also, I have the chance to take a look to the YouTube settings and my OBS settings again, like for the, I don't know, the the fifth time, like something like that. And definitely looks like I finally nailed it. The streaming is in 4K, and the quality that you can see here, let me close the chat, is pretty good. So definitely I should not need to re-upload the recording anymore. So that was also another excuse about create this new life. Okay, before doing our animation, let's check the hierarchy that this model has. Okay, we have like all of these pieces created together. I'm going to show you one new tool, which is a pretty good one, which is called Sing from Sing. The artist is called Sing, and his tool are called with this prefix. And the Sing group is a tool that will help you to organize the hierarchy and the names of the objects a little bit more similar and on an intuitive way, like we can find in another softwares like Blender, C4D, Maya, and so on. So for example, I want to create a group with the door and this little handle. So I can just open the editor. Let me put the window a little bit up. And if I remember correctly how to use it, I should try to. There is one button here that I forgot. That at this one I can isolate the selected mesh, and this one is the viewport selection, which I'm not entirely sure what it is doing. So don't worry, let's continue with the isolation mode. Okay, the door is here, but actually the silly of me, there is already a group with the door and the handle, so in this case we are not going to need the tool, but why not? Let's just make a new group for this. Let's call this, I don't know, a structure metal, something like that. So here now I have a new group, so it will be more easily to assign a material into this. In the similar way, the bolts, well, actually this model is entirely made of bolts. So let's create maybe a group like this, bolts. Maybe we can move it outside. Okay, yeah, like this. The body is now the body only. I have more bolts here. Okay, as you can see, I reorganized the hierarchy from this model very quickly. So the group that I'm going to use for work will be this one called the door handle. But actually I'm not a big fan to have, because the Sing group tool has something useful, which means that when you see the text highlighted in yellow, it means that the group is not a null with empty geometry. It's actually a geometry that has is a group that contains geometry. So as you can see, if I just move the handle outside, it changed again into a mesh icon. So now I can just create again the group door. But looks like maybe I should try with another name. Door group. Okay, this works. Okay, this is all for now. Now if I jump into Solaris, I can see the hierarchy. Sorry, I can see the hierarchy that is automatically created by the structure. Actually, also I want to rename the main group with the geo name, so this will be like this. At this point, if you already saw one of the first lives that I made, you can understand why it is a good practice to name the geo as the main. Well, actually not the main, the first parent where the geometry is stored. So okay, let's try to do this with a slightly different workflow, because at this point I can just start to doing my animation here, but let's do this in a more Solaris kind of production way, where I close or make a kind of checkpoint from my assets like this. I can just cache it as an USD file and continue working from this point. So now I can just create a sub-modified node, door open anim, and work inside at this level, only focus on the door. So remember, it is a good practice to split your asset creation or asset preparation, of course depending on the scene, because if you're working on an abstract motion graphic scene, the similar one that I already showed you on the previous lives, you can always tackle the scene preparation organization on different ways. So you don't need to worry too much about have the same structure and the same workflow every time. The good thing about Solaris is that actually it is very open and flexible, and you can work on it in multiple ways. So just want to share that little note with you. Okay, I am here on my submodify. I have this packet primitive. So in theory, if I use the mobs tool, which are specialized to work on packet primitives, I can play already with this. Basically what we need is to open the handle door like this, maybe see some eyes inside, and close the door. Very simple. But the first problem that we have here is the pivot point. Let's use the mobs pivot node based on the bounding box and fix that pivot very quickly. Also, I forgot to update the scene length. Okay, looks like our pivot is not quite ready yet. Maybe let's create a simple sphere to visualize the pivot location more easily. And of course, well, if I put the spheres on the correct size. Actually, this should be on the positive x axis. So the pivot right now is in this location. Let me actually and maybe I'm going to shift it manually a little bit, but just let's check this. Okay, you know why this is happening? Because our bounding box is it it's not only about this kind of door. It also taking consideration the handle. So this means that the bonding box is larger than the position that we need. But again, maybe the easiest method to do the final adjustment into this is by just only shifting the pivot a little bit. So this should be on the x-axis, maybe something more like this. And now let's try again, and we are ready. Looks like it will be a good idea to also move the pivot on the y-axis. Okay guys, I'm going to show you now how I will animate this, because of course I can just add some keyframes on the transformation modifier and yeah, and continue with that. But in this case, I prefer to work on a slightly different way, where I'm going to define like my final state, which is the open door, and control it just by using the influence of a mob's fall off node. So it is more handy, I believe. Let's give it I don't know why this is created at 30 FPS, but it should be 24. Weird. Okay, maybe 1 second to open. Yeah, let's try with 1 second to open. Well, actually, and then maybe 1 second and a half. So with this, I can always change the open angle amount that I want to use without editing the value of the keyframe. I just need to change if I want to change the animation is always between 0 and 1, which is way more practical. Add some curves into this. Okay, maybe let's exaggerate the animation a little bit more. Maybe let's extend the handles to the limits. But maybe this is too much. I need to reduce it a little bit, just to be able to extend it the other side. Okay, I like it. This is more toonish kinda style of it. And because I never unpacked the USD geometry, this is doing like a transformation animation, so I never deforming the points, which is an advantage on most cases. Okay, if I'm going to have some eyes here, maybe, or I think that maybe I can just open this a little bit more, something like this. And maybe I should delete the bottom section of the door, so because I want to put the eyes inside of the entire thing of the post box, not inside the handle or the door. So let's go to this very quickly. Let's find the door. Okay. Well, just delete a few polygons. maybe let's go for the top view. Okay, and now we have this empty space, which I hope that the polyfill does some magic, but not the kind of magic that we need to close this thing. Maybe we can how can we close this in a better way? Because, well, modeling is far to be my specialization. Definitely sometimes when I need to change something on the modeling side, I think on awkward ways to do what I want. Okay, I have an idea. No, sorry, polyfill. Let's try to bridge one section and then the other one. Okay, there you go. So now I think that maybe the polyfill can do the work. It is very bad. Maybe change to triangles. Okay, looks like we'll need to live with this horrible geometry. Also, don't forget to transfer all the attributes that the new polygons doesn't have. This can be very quickly by just doing an attribute transfer like this. Let's see how this looks if I subdivide the model. Okay, this should be enough because of course that side will be inside the post box, so we don't need to have it like a very perfect model. Let's update again, but before update the model, actually let's add the render subdivision from Redshift. And update the model. Now, as you can see, now it is, well, I already set the display flag here on the animation that I made, and now I can see what is inside just to put the eyes that I want. Okay, before doing that, let's maybe make the development very quickly. Let's say if there is like a moon object. No, there is another moon. What can we do to make a moon? Oh, there is a street lamp which can add like a good detail to this. Okay, maybe download this one. Okay, Again, let's just grab the file to create it here directly. Let's call this one lamp. And also don't forget to update the scale. Okay. Let's check, well, maybe directly in Solaris. Let's check how is the hierarchy for this. We have the base. Let's disable the post box for now. Okay, we have base, housing, which is the top part, the pole. Okay, and the glasses element. But I can see, okay. Well, I think that the lighting from this scene will be extremely simple, so probably I'm not going to do like a physical lighting coming from the lab or something like that. But let's reorganize the hierarchy very quickly, again with the scene group. If you want to explore more about this tool, which is very handy, you can check the description of the live. You will find a Notion link called library tools, if I remember correctly. I added this tool into that page so you can get access to the download link. Check it out. Don't forget to share your thoughts with the developer. So, but yeah, definitely this saves a huge amount of time. As you can see, this is extremely easy and fast. So now I have the expected and the correct hierarchy that I want for the lamp. I have the glass and that kind of thing. I also want to check the UVs of this one. Okay, I want to have like a because the UVC is created to work in only one object. I want to have a kind of the possibility to create a gradient into the glass part. So I can do that very easily with my Box attribute node and just merge everything back again. And there you go. I think that it will be nice to add to also add let me enable the grid, let me re-enable the post box, and maybe do the offset of the lamp on a X-form edit. So this can be positioned somehow, something like this. I don't know the scale, if the scale is realistic, but I think that this can work on a shot like this. Okay, I was thinking that it would be nice to have like the model of a sun. So it's like we will start the shot on the day and then switch to the night, see the eyes, and switch back to day. So that will be like a very simple transition. For that, we will need to create our sun and the moon. The sun is very easily. I believe that the good thing about this life is that I can show you simple modeling tricks to achieve a few things. There is a model, a node from the AE-lib that can create capsules. Maybe something like this. And reduce the scale. Also, I need to change the orientation of the capsule, so I'm not going to do like any fancy stuff like random attributes, something like that. I just want to have like a very simple and basic sum model. Yeah, this one can work. Maybe let's see how it looks if I extend the separation. Okay, let's call this one sum. And actually make this on a different method. Let's create here a subnetwork and move my sum model there. Because I'm going to use the sub import node here. Okay, add maybe a little color here and add some moon. Okay, what can we do for the moon? The moon. I'm thinking maybe we can have. I don't know if I should use the half moon or maybe the one with holes. Let me try something here very quickly. Yeah, I like this one, but also there is a node from labs. The super formula shapes that I can't remember if already has a model that can work as a moon. This will be fine for the sun. Okay, never mind. Let's also use this node, which is called the planary inflate, which is new on 20.5, and as you expect, it can be used for give some volumes into a planar object, which is very handy. But also added, yeah, on both sides. The mesh is horrible, but maybe try to reduce the edge length. Yeah, something like this. And now I think that I can use let's try the quadrimesh measure from Houdini. Yes, to have a better mesh. The tips are actually very bad. Let's see if we move something from this, or maybe use a lower point can work. Another trick, which was just to do a kind of circle and do a sweep, but we are already on this shape, so let's keep doing it with this technique. Okay, looks like we have a winner with the quadrimesh from Houdini and the delta mesh. Okay, let's add it on more or less on the same scale from the sum. Okay, yeah, this can work. Now let's import this into the Solaris stage. using the sub import mode. Okay, let's also add a parent into each of them. Maybe create, I don't know how to label it. Maybe, yeah, just sun and moon, something like this. And they are pretty big. So let's create a sub modify for, sorry, an X form modify or edit for each of them. Maybe reduce the scale by something like this. And let's create another X form edit. This one is in charge to, no, sorry, this one. This is the edit of the moon, this is the edit of the sun, and this is the edit of the group of both. So I can just move them a little bit back, but sorry, into this direction, rotate it. And maybe also take the opportunity to define our camera. Why not? But let me use my camera rig based on the FMCR rig. Maybe we can use like a, where is it? Sorry. Well, because if this is like a kind of toy also, maybe we can use a higher focal length, like an 80, something like that. Just move it a little bit upward, move it to something like this. And let's put the camera closer. Also reduce a little bit of the clipping. But I am losing the lamp. Let's go with a 35 lens. Yeah, it can be something simple like this. And let's try to have it on the center. Okay, there you go. Now let's finish the work on the sun and the moon. Maybe let's start with the sun. Maybe put it a little bit higher, but not so high, like this. And the moon should have the same but the inverse value. So we can just link it like this. Also, let's link the scale of both of them, maybe to something like this. So at this point now, if I maybe actually I can, which is the, no, this is not the axis either. Maybe I mean, of course it is this one, but maybe we can just work on another and add a little color here, and in some moon, and this one will be in charge to work on the animation. Yeah, like this. Maybe it can be a little bit higher and smaller. We can fake it, of course. This is not like a physical stuff. And also maybe move it a little bit like this. Okay, I think that it can work like this. Let's animate the rotation of the group. I forgot the axis. Okay, this one. Actually disable for now the sub modify of the post box, just to don't get distracted. Okay, add a keyframe, move it maybe in 1 second, add another one, and then make the switch. Or actually, I believe that it can be similar to the post box with a second and a half, something like this. Let's also increase the ease of the keyframes, and let's visualize it. It is not changed at all. Why? I added the value here, an incorrect value. So this should be 180, and then it should continue to 360. Okay, there you go. Now I believe let's fix the orientation of the moon. Okay, maybe actually give a little bit more frames here, maybe move it into 48 and 72. Sorry, 72. And let's fix the orientation of the moon. Yeah, maybe this one can work. Well, I was thinking on the opposite direction, something like this. Okay, maybe something like this. And also spin the models on the opposite direction. So this will go to minus 180, minus 180, and minus 360, and maybe a little bit more room of keyframes here. And increase the ease again of the keyframes. Okay, I have the animation of the scene ready, basically. Now let's add a grid. This one will be called floor. And let's add a few custom things. with the render geometry settings because I don't want to see this one on camera. I want to enable the mate option for this one, but also enable the shadows. Yeah, maybe secondary rays also, maybe the reflection scale too. So this will help us to, because if I create a dome light with a plain color, it will give us like a sensation that we have an infinite floor on everything. These models are very tiny, actually, very weird. So this can be like a very simple lighting setup like this. And let me also, I want to go to Redshift and disable for now my second GPU because it is used by the OBS. Let's enable Redshift. Actually, the OBS consumes just a tiny portion of the VRAM. Okay, I still seeing the plane, maybe because I should not enable the reflection. Yeah, this might be something like this, and this, I don't know if you can see here this on the streaming, but there is a slightly, but I believe that it is because I have the grid enabled. No, I can still see the line separation between the color of the sky and my infinite floor. But it should not have that. I don't remember if I maybe need to enable something regarding the alpha. Yeah, that's it. I was missing to the affect alpha checkbox, but if I enable the reflection again, it will reduce our effect. Okay, so let's change the background color, maybe for something. You know what? Let's do the color on edit. Later, I'm going to show you why I'm doing like this. So this one can be a kind of orangey color. Okay, something like this might work. And this is like our day light color. Let's also increase intensity from this light because it is too shy right now. Okay, maybe do something like this. Okay, I believe that some normals are missing on the, or maybe no, I believe it's actually the reflection of the parts of the post box that are creating this weird line, but I'm going to create the material on a second. Let's move our light behind our dome light and let's create our night color. So this can be a kind of deep blue color. And maybe we can also have a modify of the area light to have less light here, but also I want to Maybe I need to also decrease the intensity of the dome light. What can I do if I want to have a darker color here? This is a good question. Sorry. This is kinda my fault, because I believe that I am seeing the background of the viewport. So let's add a black color, and definitely it is now very dark. Okay, let's reduce the main light, maybe by half, something like this. But also try to recover a little bit of the background color, like this one. Okay, let's focus for now on the daylight scene, and let's we're finishing. We are almost done. Let's start to create our materials. We're going to need like the sun, the moon, the post box, and 2 for the lamps. 5 materials. Okay, let's assign the materials. Let me open to have these to have more space. Okay, so in theory we already have everything that we need. Let's create the material of the post box with a simple, maybe bluish color, and add a little bit of metalness, maybe a little bit more to cyan, and less metalness, maybe something kinda without specular. Yeah, I think that I can remove the specular and maybe add a little bit of roughness into the diffuse. Maybe put the color slightly darker. No, but you know what? Let me recover a little bit of the specular, because probably it will receive some reflex of the inside eyes when I have it. Okay, maybe something like this is fine. Now let's do the material of the lamp. Maybe something with a little bit of a grayish color. A little bit lighter, something like this. Okay, something like this can work. And for now, also let's add the lamp material. So this will be this material will have 2 states. The states also for light, for the daylight, and for the night light. So let's just add a simple incandescent material. let's add a user data with the bounding box attribute that I created. Create a ramp. Okay, in our ramp material, let's add maybe a bluish color because this is the day illumination. Maybe better work this on the surface material, but with a little bit of emission. Okay, something like this works pretty fine. And now let's create our sun material, which might be something like I have a shader also from MindNext. Is the user that created this shader, or well, actually a few more Redshift shader. Again, you can take a look to it by the link on the description. I just like to give you some good tips. Maybe the sun can be something like this. This emission shader has integrated Fresnel, but it is cool. Let's try to see how it looks like this. Okay, what happens if I increase the intensity? Maybe also let me, on my camera, let's try to add a little bit more contrast using one of the Redshift lots. Okay, of course, this is quite a lot, but let's try to reduce the amount of contrast by controlling just the intensity of the lot, like this one. Maybe, sorry about the noise. Maybe let's increase a little bit the influence of the light to something more like this. Okay, maybe also on the lamp material, reduce a little bit the index, or actually the reflection amount. If I kill all the specular, maybe increase also the roughness. Yeah, I prefer like this. Okay, now let's jump into the night instance. This is our night instance. I believe that actually we should try to save now a little bit more of light into the scene. Something more like this. Okay. Maybe what happens if I kill this light entirely? Maybe something like this. And let's create the material of the moon. I'm going to use a similar setup with the emission. This is, again, remember that this is basically like a Fresnel creating an emission color variation, but it is nothing more like that. So. Okay, here I have our moon. Let's increase the roughness by quite a lot, reduce the index a little bit. I prefer to have like the sun a little bit more shiny compared to the moon. And also, why not? Let's add a little bit of glow. We can reduce the threshold by a lot, looks like. Okay. Okay, maybe something like this. And now, the last step on these materials, let's create our other instance of the glasses. And this one should have way more light. But also let's color correct this thing a little bit because it is way oversaturated. Okay, there you go. It is taking a good shape. And we are, well, what can I say? We are on the deadline of 1 hour, but we are only missing the eyes and how to do the transition of everything. But believe it or not, we already did the difficult part. Let me recover a little bit of the saturation from this. Okay, the only material that has a transition is this one, so I'm going to create a material layer node to have both of them on the same place. And then I'm going to create a scalar constant to control the mix light material state. So when this is 0, this will be the daylight, and 1 will be the night. This is important. Also, let's create a node, called blend. With this blend node, I over-exaggerated this thing. Let's disable the bloom for now. Maybe actually let's put this with an intensity of 0, but we know that on the night branch this should have an intensity of, I forgot, but another value. So let's go find the bloom. I believe it was 1, actually, I don't remember. Okay, and the other thing that I'm going to need is to have an edit of my shader here at lock level to control the transition of the material. So I can just grab it like this, and to have everything more easy, I'm going to link the blend value with the blend of my material. This means this blend node is kind of a good one, but sometimes can give you some unexpected results. I just believe that for this simple sim, it will work. It can do the work very easily because I don't have nothing crazy here. So if I move this into 1, as you can see, we just switched the entire scene to the night version. So very simple. I didn't have to create a lot of controllers and stuff to combine, or a lot of keyframes to combine both states. Okay, let's remember our keyframes. I believe that the animation starts from frame 1, and some of them is until the 36 or something like that. But I think that this can be a little bit in front, and then in frame 36, let's double check the null that has the animation. Okay, at this point this should be already at night. If we follow the same rule, this should be from 180. At this point this should be 0 again, and for 24 frames less than this should be again our other transition. Okay, let's polish the keyframes. And again, just add a lot of easy into the keyframes because it's the style that we're trying to achieve on this piece. Okay guys, we are done. We have the basic stuff, but also, okay, yeah, I thought that the glow wasn't having the correct transition, but it looks like it is working correctly fine. Last but not least, just add our creator eyes inside of the post box. Maybe add another cache to have a better playback performance. This will be called our base stage. I hope that you enjoy this session. I am enjoying this one because it is like a very good exercise to see what kind of stuff can be done in subs, what kind of things can be done in lobs, how you can manage different type of data to accomplish something like this. So at the moment that you need to do a more complex scene, you just need to implement the same concepts. Okay, there you go. Well, let's add the final detail and add the creature eyes. Let's collapse everything here. You might get surprised on how cheap I'm going to do these eyes. Let's just create a sphere, because this definitely won't be like a Hollywood ILM Avengers kind of creature eyes. This will be extremely cheap. Okay, let's now, maybe this creature is very angry because it is on a very tiny space, something like that. I believe that I need to enable F and my click. There you go. Here is the eyes of our creature, something like this. Yeah, I like it. Don't forget to add the polygon fill into this. Let's just create a match size node to fit the eyes correctly into the minimum position and the maximum on the z-axis. Sorry, this is in this case the minimum. It looks like I have the wrong direction, but what can I say? It is ready like this. Okay, let's create a mirror of this. Let's change the direction, and there you go. Our very angry eyes of the post office. Let's maybe... No, I'm going to update the scale directly in lobs, but let's just fix the orientation to have this one as base. Let me change this to the matcap just to be able to visualize this, and I forgot to add the normals into the geometry. But I believe that the thing that is giving me the incorrect visualization is generated by the n-gons on this side. Looks like I don't have another way to do it, but don't worry, let's continue like this. But in case that sometimes you have some weird issues with geometry displaying correctly into the Solaris viewport, sometimes the Solaris viewport doesn't like the n-gons, so keep that in mind. I hate this bug when Houdini starts spinning around forever. Okay, I think that on this position this can work. So let's add the material. Let's copy the emission trick that I did on the zone. Yeah, let's use the same material for the zone. Why not? Maybe this one can be a slightly more yellowish, but it can work like this. And don't forget to assign the material. There you go. We have our night creature being angry because you are bothering it on the night. Maybe reduce the saturation a little bit. Also, let's increase the roughness. Or maybe this one can be an incandescent material without specular influence. Yeah, I like it. I think that it might be a slightly smaller. There you go. And I think that I don't need to animate anything for it because it can just appear. Well, maybe I can animate the Y position. And here you can see the nice motion blur that we have on the sun and the moon. Yeah, let's keep it like this. So let me close this. Let me close this one. And there you go. And a creature entry for the Mardini. I hope you like it. I show you a nice amount of good basic tips and tricks about create a simple scene like this in Solaris. Hope you like it again and see you the next one. Bye bye.